Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the second MLB game of the season. Our best bets are on the way. Dodgers versus Cubs. Today, it's Austin, joined by Logan. Today, joined by a special guest, Logan. Just kidding. We're not bringing out the Bruins, but a 1-0 start to the season. Exactly what we needed. Looked like it was going to be easy. Only one run scored through four. Of course, the Dodgers scored three in the top of the fifth. And man, if that end lost like that, Logan and I might have known we might not be back. We might have been like, all right, if that's what it's going to be like. But hey, we got a winner to start the year, 1-0, undefeated. We're going to try to do it the rest of the season. At the end of the video, we're going to talk about this game even more, but we have actually a player prop that we're going to dive into our first of the season. We cashed our first game prop of the year. Hopefully we can cash our first player prop. Stick with us. We're going to dive into how we feel about this game, or that first five, full game and whatnot. Let's dive into those things. As always, if you are new, do us a favor, go down below. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the MLB stuff. We do it daily, although you'll get a week break from Logan and I until the real games, real or slate start next week. But our player prop for this game, our only official pick, is going to be the Dodgers pitcher. That would be Roki Sasaki, under 12.5 outs. Now, before you go down below, saying, Austin, my line's 4.5. No, you're looking at strikeouts. Much different. We want outs, pitching outs versus strikeouts. You could take as under in Ks. They kind of go hand in hand, but we much prefer the under in pitching outs, which is 12.5 minus 130 on DraftKings. That's when we posted it to our DubClub, but the lines have moved. FanDuel is at 11.5. That is not a line that we would play. I mean, I still don't know if he gets there, but again, big difference between 11.5 and 12.5. That could be a whole inning. Sasaki easily could end on 12 because that's 4 innings pitched and not come out in the 5th inning. But either way, you should be able to get a 12.5. Maybe you pair it with your favorite NBA leg or juice reducer or something like that. Let's talk about Sasaki while we're fading him. Now, Sasaki is the big phenom for the Dodgers. He was the big guy that people were like, where's he going to land up? Of course, he's going to land up with Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto, but he's obviously big things are expected from him this season. However, he has dealt with injuries in his past. He has never completed a full season. I think the most innings he's ever thrown is like 130. He's dealt with some injuries. He is a work in progress. Hence why he didn't get the 300+ million that Yamamoto saw. He only was, $6 million. So we know how many injuries the Dodgers dealt with last year. There's no chance they're running this guy into the ground, not in his first ever MLB start. And you look at Yamamoto, we'll compare Yamamoto to Sasaki and talk about them, how they did in spring training. Now, Yamamoto worked his way all the way up to 75 pitches in his final spring training start. Sasaki has yet to throw over 50 pitches. Yeah. And we have to think about this Cubs offense. Yesterday, they did absolutely nothing. And they got Yamamoto out of there in the 5th inning after 5 innings, which we would lose this pick if we saw Sasaki go 5. But they got him out of there at 72 pitches. I personally don't think Sasaki is going to get close to 70. At most, I see 60. Realistically, I think he ends somewhere around 50, high 40s, 50. And we look at that Cubs offense, didn't do great yesterday, but they were able to work out some counts. And Yamamoto, like I said, he got the 72 pitches through 5. And he didn't really have any trouble. He had 1 walk and 3 hits allowed. We think about Sasaki's lines. He has a 1.5 walks line, which is juiced about minus 170. So I think he walks 2 guys. Great for us. 3.5 hits allowed line. Solid. And like Yamamoto, he didn't have a single inning that went above 20 pitches per inning. So he was pretty efficient. And if you've seen so far in spring training, Sasaki has had 2 outings. One of them he went 3 innings. One of them he went 4. Technically went under in both of them. He averaged around 40, 45 pitches in both those 2 games. So he was more or less pretty efficient. He only gave up, I believe, 3 hits and 3 walks among those 7 innings. So he was very, very good. If he isn't good today, there's no chance in heck he's getting to this line. You won't see a lot of 12.5 lines going around the whole season, but given it's the first start of the season for a guy that has dealt with some injuries in his past, it's kind of a work in progress. I think they have a good chance of tagging him. The Cubs, that is. They're a pretty patient offense. Ian Happ leading that off. And this is a guy they've never seen before. And he has an elite splitter. He can strike out guys, but outside of the splitter, the fastball seems to be pretty straight fastball, not a lot of movement. And his other pitches, he really only throws about 3 of them. So we really like Sasaki's under and outs today as our favorite play of the slate, Logan. But obviously people might want to hear our thoughts on the actual game, Logan. So I'm going to kind of segue to you and give you your thoughts on this game. Our only official pick will be Sasaki's under and outs. If it's 11.5, don't even bother playing it. But Logan, what are your thoughts on this game? And if you had to bet who you think would win, over, under, what are you feeling on this one?
Yeah, first of all, what a sweat yesterday. Oh my gosh. Why does it always have to be that way through 5? That game kind of went how I expected it to go. We told you we thought Yamamoto would have a bounce back kind of start to the season, like he was shaky last year. I could see a little bit of jitters, a little bit of nerves from Sasaki, and that does go hand in hand with our prop. And that kind of leads me into my lean. I lean the Cubs on the money line. I just think this is one of those series where they split. I mean, it's a little mini series in Tokyo, obviously. Justin Steele for the Cubs, though, that's going to be the difference. He's a guy that has thrown a ton of innings. He's really good. Where he's good at is missing bats, barrels specifically, 94th percentile in barrel percentage last season, 88th percentile in hard hit percentage. The way you attack this Dodgers lineup is you cannot allow the scorching hard extra base hits. Limit that. Get some soft contact ground ball outs. I think that's what Justin Steele does. I think he is absolutely able to get up and down this Dodgers lineup without a whole lot of runs allowed. Because look at this Dodgers lineup. It's if Mookie Betts isn't in there, Freddie Freeman's not in there. Look, lefty on lefty, Shohei Ohtani, that does bode well for Justin Steele, but still, this is just not that powerful of a Dodgers lineup. They got the timely hits when they needed yesterday, but I think this is the Cubs' turn to get it. I think they ambush Roki Sasaki. Hopefully that does work out for our player prop bet. I think they ambush him, and this Cubs bullpen is improved. Right, they addressed this in free agency. They got guys like Brazier in the back end of this bullpen, so they can be pretty solid late game. And obviously, Ben Brown coming in yesterday, that's not what you wanted to see. He just didn't have it for a lot of that game. That's what broke it open. The Cubs were still knocking. They were still right on the doorstep of a victory, and I think this time they closed it out. Give me the Cubs on the money line. That would be my lean for the game.
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs offense was borderline no-show yesterday. They had some competitive at-bats, but outside of a Miguel Amaya double, really not much going on for him. I do like the bounce back here. Justin Steele, I was looking at his splits last year, he was actually much better on the road than he was in Wrigley Field. So we'll see. He's going to have to limit the walks because that's kind of what Shota got into trouble with, was walking too many guys and getting into trouble. Obviously, Ben Brown was the real culprit of giving up some runs, but Stroda didn't have, he had a stressful innings in the 4th and 5th. So either way, our favorite pick, though, it's Sasaki. We're rolling with his under and outs. Apologies if it moved to 11.5. If you want to avoid that line movement, easiest place to do is join the DubClub. You get all the NBA picks early. You get some exclusive picks. You'll get all the MLB picks early, which this one we posted around 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern time. And of course, you'll get some added plays as well when the MLB season is in full swing, plus some other research tools and things like that. Logan, I know we're not going to see you for a few more days, but I know you're excited for the season to start. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I'm so excited for the season to start. And while you were kind of promoting a little bit the DubClub, I want to remind people that is the best way to talk with Austin and I. This baseball season is going to be a really, really long year. You might be looking at the slate and be like, hey, Logan, what do you like in this, Phillies versus Pirates game? What do you like in that? And, I'm a Phillies expert. That's what I do. But I can give you a lot of my leans and we can talk bets that way. We just don't have that sort of dialogue on platforms like YouTube or sort of on X, Twitter, whatever you want there. But it's just not as good as Discord. So if you want a sort of personal line to Austin and I would highly encourage you to get into the DubClub. It supports this community and it really helps grow this channel, which we love to see.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. We'll have to get you on some streams more often, the daily streams. Yeah. And we're going to be doing more Nerfy live streams, which we might include some giveaways in there. So more on that probably next week when the slate officially starts. Either way, thanks for tuning in. Those are our favorite picks. Sasaki, give us a 2-0 start to the season. And we'll see you guys back again next week for the official opening day of all the other MLB teams. We'll see you guys then. Let's hope for another bright and ersy winner. See you guys at 6 a.m. to sweat out this game. See you later. Peace.